In 2018, a low-resolution video leaked online that showed what looked like a trailer for a Harry Potter RPG of some kind. There were all kinds of lightning bolts, fireballs, and shields. Also goblins being freaking impaled. To many, it looked like the Harry Potter game a lot of fans had been waiting for ever since the movies finished. But then time passed. Many people, including myself, assumed the game was canceled, whatever it even was. It wasn't until 2 years later that Hogwarts Legacy, or Hog Legs as the fans like to call it, please call it that, was announced to the world at a PlayStation reveal event in September 2020. The game sparked a lot of excitement. The trailer was all about how this was your adventure. You, yes, you, will get to enter the world of Harry Potter. The trailer stated that this game takes place like 100 years before Harry Potter was even born. So it's all about you becoming a wizard within the wizarding world of Harry Potter, just minus all the people from the Harry Potter books and movies. You'll still do a lot of the stuff from the movies, like putting on the sorting hat or doing that thing where you pull the screaming baby out of the flower pot. But more importantly, it was clear that character customization and cosmetics were a big focus, which is something that always wheels me into games. I know, it's a weakness I've been working on. 3 years later, the game was finally released. While I don't normally review new games on this channel, I was so impressed with Portkey Games' first endeavor at a next-gen game that I had to doot to them. Their mission was to bring Hogwarts and its surrounding world to life, and I think they've done a great job. Maybe even set the standard in some ways of what we can expect from open world games moving forward. My name's PoopBro420, and I'm here to explain to you as objectively as possible why Hogwarts Legacy is still worth your time, even if you're not supposed to like it. Until now, Portkey Games, or Porky Games as the fans call them, please call them that, were only known for making all of those cringe mobile Harry Potter games. Maybe you've seen them around. One was a weak copy of Pokemon Go, while the others look to be games where you're just like a first year at Hogwarts doing random actions around the school. I played one of them, and it's like you walk into a room and you've just got wrapped up in the iconic Whispering Willow tree. Now wait an hour. That, or give them real money to shorten your wait time. Also known as high skill-based gameplay. Because of these high skill requirements, these games lacked any mainstream appeal. So as great as all these gameplay trailers looked for Hog Legs, I had a huge fear that it wouldn't be more than another disappointing cash grab pretending to be a video game. But being a longtime fan myself, I couldn't ignore any attempt at a Harry Potter open world game. The game starts with you reading your acceptance letter into Hogwarts. The letter states that due to your unique circumstances, things are going to be different for you. After creating your character, you are seen getting scooped up by someone named Professor Fig from your house in the Muggle world of late 1800s. He explains that he's never seen a person start Hogwarts as a 5th year, and there must be something remarkable about you. While there is something remarkable about you, only the secret quill that chooses who attends Hogwarts has any idea what that is. No human is involved in choosing who goes to Hogwarts. But your character is still such a Mary Sue. But really, that's fine. Hey, look, it's me, Poops Brophy, the fine wizard. As you're packing up for the journey to Hogwarts, you're joined by a member of the Ministry of Magic named George, who is a good friend of Professor Fig's. As everyone climbs into the magic flying buggy, Professor Fig and George begin having a secret magic society chat right in front of you. This gives you some insight into what's going on. Given the circumstances, I'm a little surprised Professor Fig would be open about this stuff in front of a brand new student who just learned that the wizarding world even exists. Now, obviously, there is a narrative reason why this is happening. George and Professor Fig begin to explain that they're starting to get really worried about the goblins and what they've been up to. Thank God I live a life where I get to say that sentence unironically. It's implied that Professor Fig's late wife was onto something the goblins may have been after before she got killed. George hands over a mysterious artifact to Fig, saying that this was the last thing he got from her before she died. There wasn't any note included, so we have no idea what it is, but it sure looks important. All of a sudden, your character says, "What about the shining light coming from it?" Now, in-game, there is no shining light, which Fig and George point out, but once they hand the cylinder to your character, it pops right open. That's right, you are the Hog Legs. Just kidding. You're actually some kind of chosen one who can see and use ancient magic of some kind, but more on that later. Inside of the box is a key. A port key. Get it? Whoa! That's a little on the whoa! Oh, and in case you think George might have survived that in some way, as soon as the dragon closes its mouth, the Thistrals driving the buggy become visible. And if you're within a mile of any Harry Potter superfan when this happens, they're going to start jumping up and down and clapping, going, "Oh my god, the Thistrals! You can only see those creatures if you've seen somebody die! Oh my god, it's crazy!" So, all we know is that some group, probably the goblins, are trying to get a great magic secret locked away behind a secret magic key, and you are the key's chosen master, tasked with using an ancient magic that is also very secret. Anyway, one thing leads to another, and after a short cutscene on how to heal yourself, you are given control of your recently created character. They slow your movement to a cinematic trot as you approach a cliff overseeing the sea. Big attention is focused on things like the wind fluttering through your jacket and the blades of grass. At this moment I thought, well, this is just a nice set piece. The whole game obviously won't look this good. But to be honest, it kind of did. The game itself takes place in an open world that you travel all throughout during your 25 to 40 hour adventure, collecting all kinds of trash along the way. I mean, crafting materials. In between optional quests you do for randos, classes you attend at Hogwarts, and main story missions. Now, these missions contain the breathtaking set pieces I was talking about earlier, like a ride on the minecart through Gringotts Goblin Bank, or even riding your first broom the first time in Flying Broom class, which later becomes one of your main modes of travel. I want to throw a little spoiler warning here, by the way, because I won't be focusing on just the beginning of this game. Plus, a big motivation that is used as the carrot on your stick, if you will, is unlocking more layers to Hog Legs' open world exploration. Sometimes when you learn a new spell, or even if you just talk to a certain person, you'll unlock some kind of optional collectible. Some going towards awesome cosmetic rewards, while some are only there to help you increase your wizardly stats. I want people to go into this game as blind as possible, but if you're still not convinced, let's continue. Once you get that broom I told you about, the game's world is now completely open to you. You're free to fly to the very edges of the map, for better or for worse. One problem I had with this design choice was that many times early in the game, I would find some statue or something on the map that looks like I must be able to interact with it, but I've obviously come to it too early. You could flip that though and say it's a great reason to revisit areas. And with visuals as good as Hog Legs offers, this isn't a bad thing. Hogwarts itself has so many details and hidden rooms that are sealed by padlocks or puzzles. Ghosts drift through the halls greeting students, chasing each other, and even messing with the students. Also, the NPC students at the school can be doing everything from just having simple conversations with each other to experimenting with spells that have them like walking on the walls or blowing smoke out of their ears. Also, nearly every corner of the school has lore drops given to you as what are called field guide pages, and you collect these for even more cosmetic rewards, of course. I found myself examining every corner of that damn school with its version of detective vision. I wanted to get every single entry for that damn field guide, and I almost did. Something Hog Legs really nails in my opinion are its side quests. One optional quest line I really enjoyed was the one that tasks you with helping Sebastian Sallow, the Slytherin by all means necessary bad boy who sneaks into the library at night to learn the dark arts. Don't worry, it's not because he's evil, but to save his twin sister. She's been put under a strange curse that no one has been able to remove. Sebastian is constantly scolded by everyone around him and told nothing good can come from trying to learn the dark arts, but he won't let anything stop him. Along his journey, you'll go to hidden areas of the school that contain forbidden magical artifacts Sebastian believes he can use to help his sister. I thought the dialogue from Sebastian was very believable. He's so desperate yet brave. As evil as I sound saying it, it never really seemed like learning all the dark arts with him would turn out to be a bad thing. For those not in the Harry Potter know, dark arts are spells that usually, keyword usually, torture or kill people. They're also known as unforgivable spells because you'll get thrown into mage jail if you get caught using them. At least that's what's supposed to happen. Sadly, the unforgivables become nothing more than combat spells to add to your spellbook. For example, spamming the instant death spell called Hakuna Matata is no more illegal in this game than making a feather levitate. A missed opportunity in my opinion. Speaking of missed opportunities, as much as I loved it, Sebastian's side quest ends on such a weak note in my opinion. He essentially gets to the final, most forbiddenest, most magicalist evil artifact that he can find in hopes of saving his sister. In a strange turn of events, it helps him raise the dead instead. Yeah. Then he's like, if this nice box can raise the dead, then I'm sure it'll have no problem helping me sister. At this moment, Sebastian's magic cop uncle, who has scolded him countless times over this very thing and apparently has been right about him all along, arrives, and can't believe Sebastian has sunken so far as to become a low-down, good-for-nothing necromancer. He doesn't say it like that, though. The two fight, and Sebastian 100% intentionally murders his uncle with Hakuna Matata. I don't know. Sebastian's fall from grace didn't feel authentic at all to me. Maybe that's because I'm a mark, and he had me right where he wanted me the whole time. But it was pretty funny how I chose to handle him in the end. After leaving the murder scene he created, Sebastian asks you, how do you feel about everything? I told him he was totally right to kill his uncle, and everyone should know the killing spell. You know, just in case. After he taught me the spell, I went straight to the school and told his best friend that he needed to snitch on him immediately. I still wish Sebastian had a more convincing fate at the end of the day, but I think it's because the developers wanted his questline to be the in-game vending machine for bad guy spells, and they had to find some way to make his story fit that angle. It wasn't like this game needed to have an excuse for you to learn more spells. Combat is super fun in this game with or without the use of unforgivables. Something I've always liked about Harry Potter was its potential for brutality. Even though it started as a series for children, combat in Hog Legs does not disappoint, giving the players so many options that it may feel overwhelming. I mean, it did for me, but that's only because I was spamming everything I could. The game has no limit on how many spells you can use, just a cooldown for each individual spell. So the more spells you get, the less you have to wait on spell cooldowns. Since you're able to wield that ancient magic I mentioned earlier, you can also cast spells that you wouldn't see in the movies, like striking someone with lightning or even making them explode. You can also throw rocks and explosive barrels that are laying around, so it's kind of like you are the most horrifying thing to walk this earth, in my opinion. Maybe a little too powerful. You ever see people do this in the movies? Oh man. I'm not complaining though. It's a fun power trip. You can use stealth, but for the first time in any game, I had zero desire to use it. The normal combat is way too fun to pass up, proving that power really does corrupt the soul. Porky Games presents Hog Legs is an above-average open-world experience that offers what fans of the Harry Potter series have dreamed of for a long time now. A game where you get to become the Harry Potter, a powerful Mary Sue who has chosen to save the world. But I don't think you need to be a Harry Potter fan to take part in this above-average experience. The visual and sound design of this game is hyper-realistic. The way the game is always adding new layers to itself follows the classic formula for good open-world games like Spider-Man. And man, these visuals make the game cinematic enough to be appreciated by anyone who plays, or any Harry Potter fan who watches you play it, in my opinion. I never felt stuck or unable to overcome any foe in this game. The game's goal seems to be amazing you with its sense of scale and keeping you in for the whole ride with its constantly growing game loop. It offers a great narrative for those who want a quicker experience and tons of optional lore-heavy quest storylines that I love seeking my teeth into. I could go on, but I want to leave some on the table for you. The combat's fun, the narrative's great, and the pace is superb. But the real joy of this game is the very constant pursuit of the drip.
I just wanna feel you. Do you know how much I miss you, baby? I just wanna feel for you. Do you know that you make me a lady?
This is the part where I normally say I'll be keeping an eye on Porky Games as I'm excited to see what they do next, but I actually know what they're working on next, and I'm not excited for it at all. I think it's going to be another one of those mobile games. Anyway, if you've gotten this far, I want to thank you for watching. Have a great day.